In 2020, Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, the reigning Champions League holders at the time, were eliminated by Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. After the match, Klopp was asked about Atletico's approach, and he didn't hide his frustration. He basically said it didn't feel right to him. He questioned how a team with that level of talent could play in such a defensive way. In his view, players of that quality should be expressing themselves more on the ball instead of sitting deep. He pointed out names like Koke, Saul and Llorente, saying they are capable of playing beautiful technical football, yet they were positioned in two compact defensive lines with only two forwards left up top, relying on counter-attacks. For many people, that match summed up the identity Atletico Madrid built under Simeone over the years. It was a style that brought them huge success, including 2 La Liga titles, 2 Europa League trophies, and 2 Champions League final appearances. That defensive strength, discipline, and compact structure became their trademark. But things have started to change in recent times. Atletico are no longer the same rigid, ultra-defensive side they were known as. One of the biggest reasons is the squad overhaul. The club has brought in around 20 new players across the last 4 transfer windows, and that kind of turnover has naturally shifted their identity. With new players coming in, the team has been forced to evolve and rebuild its style more than once. Even Simeone has acknowledged this shift. After their Champions League quarter-final win over Barcelona, he admitted that the team has been through constant rebuilding. He said they understand their strengths and weaknesses, and now they see themselves as a side that actually attacks better than it defends. Tactically, the biggest change is how flexible they've become. The strict defensive structure that once defined Simeone's Atletico is not as rigid anymore. In build-up play, they often leave central midfield spaces open on purpose to draw opponents out and create space out wide. This helps them form passing triangles on the flanks, allowing them to break through defensive lines with quicker, more direct attacks instead of slow, conservative build-up. Their fullbacks, including players like Nahuel Molina and Rodrigo Riquelme, play a much more active role now. They constantly push forward, making overlapping and underlapping runs to support the attack. That added width and movement gives Atletico more attacking options than before. On top of that, the energy and versatility of Marcos Llorente continues to be a key factor. His ability to cover ground, press, and contribute both defensively and offensively perfectly represents this new version of Atletico Madrid, a team that is no longer just about defending, but about actively trying to dominate games in a more balanced way. And for a team that was once built around classic number 9s like Radamel Falcao and Diego Costa, Atletico look completely different in attack today. Instead of relying on a fixed striker, Antoine Griezmann and Julian Alvarez are now given the freedom to drift across the front line and find space wherever it opens up. Griezmann, in particular, is enjoying a brilliant final chapter of his Atletico career before his expected move to MLS in the summer of 2026. His football intelligence stands out more than ever as he consistently drops into deeper areas during build-up play, positioning himself between the lines to connect attacks and create passing options. This setup, where both forwards operate almost like false nines, gives Atletico a major advantage. When they win the ball in their own half and launch a counter-attack, those two are already positioned in pockets of space, ready to link play instantly. It means they can transition forward before the opposition has time to organize a counter-press or recover possession. The arrival of Ademola Lookman has also added another dimension to their attack. His pace, movement and finishing ability give Atletico an extra goal threat, making them even more dangerous in transition. As a result, they have become one of the most efficient counter-attacking sides in Europe. That said, they haven't completely abandoned the identity that made Simeone's teams so successful over the past 14 years in Madrid. In Koke, they still have a player who understands the tactical discipline, game management, and subtle dark arts that Atletico have long been known for. His presence helps maintain that competitive edge in big moments. Up front, Alexander Sørloth offers a more traditional striking option. He gives the team tactical balance balance, especially when they want a direct target in the box for crosses and quick deliveries. His physical presence allows Atletico to switch styles depending on the situation. Defensively, they can still fall back into a compact shape when needed, sometimes forming a 5-4-1 block. Diego Simeone also occasionally drops into a right wing-back role to add extra defensive cover when they are under pressure. But overall, the tightly rigid, defensive Atletico of the past is no longer the full picture. The modern version is far more fluid, dynamic, and attack-minded, while still carrying traces of Simeone's original identity. This season, Atletico Madrid's defensive reputation has taken a noticeable hit. They've conceded 3 or more goals in 7 different matches across all competitions, and in the Champions League round of 16 against struggling Premier League side Tottenham, they shipped 5 goals over 2 legs. Even more striking is the fact that none of their last 36 Champions League games have ended goalless, with those matches averaging almost 4 goals per game, a clear sign of how open their games have become. The old defensive backbone, built around no-nonsense centre-backs like Diego Godin and Miranda, has gradually been replaced by a different profile of defender. Players such as Robin Lenormand and David Hanko bring more comfort on the ball and better distribution from the back, even if they are not always as traditionally solid in pure defensive situations. That shift has naturally changed the way Atletico approach matches. They haven't completely transformed into a free-flowing, attack-first side, but there is no doubt they are far more open than before. Simeone has adjusted to modern football trends, including more risk-taking in build-up play, often encouraging his team to play out from the back and push higher up the pitch to compress space and disrupt the opponent's structure early. Despite the defensive concerns, Atletico's attacking output has been impressive. With 34 goals in 14 Champions League matches, they rank as the 3rd highest scoring team in the competition this season. At the same time, they've also conceded 26 goals, the 2nd highest total among all teams still involved, highlighting just how chaotic and high-tempo their matches have become. What emerges is a side that feels imperfect but far more entertaining than in previous years. Simeone has gradually evolved his approach, blending his traditional intensity with more modern attacking ideas, turning Atletico into one of the most unpredictable and exciting teams in Europe right now. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more football analysis. The Athletic is home to some of the world's top sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Daniel Taylor, Oliver Kay, Amy Lawrence, and James Horncastle, delivering the latest transfer news and in-depth insight on every major Premier League story at theathletic.com.